After about 21 years, Toast is finally being released. This was an album that Neil Young and Crazy Horse recorded back in 2001, but after thinking that it was too sad, they decided to leave it in the vault and record a different album called Are You Passionate with Booker T and the MG. This album explored more of a rhythm and blues and soul type of sound. So if you are a longtime Neil Young fan, you will hear some songs you might find familiar. And some songs here are almost the same, but they have been reworked into different songs. This brings us to the album Toast by Neil Young and Crazy Horse. Neil Young has been releasing many albums lately. His last studio album, Barn, was released about 7 months ago. Since then, he has been releasing a lot of archival live recordings and reissues of his older albums. My first impression of this album was that it was a typical Neil Young album with Crazy Horse. Those albums always have a great guitar tone. And I think they actually invented grunge. You know, they had that sound down pat, even when members of Pearl Jam and Nirvana were very small, I guess. The drums on this album are very good. They play like a standard rock drums. Most of the songs have that like standard like 4/4 beat. Songs are very laid back and relaxing. The vocals sound good as they always do, and there are some female backup singers. This album kind of has like a folk rock feel, but also with those grungy electric guitars. This album has slower songs, and the album has 7 songs with a runtime of 52 minutes. So let's talk about that now. First song, Quit. This one was one of the songs that appeared on the Are You Passionate album in a different form. The thing that stood out with this song is the slightly distorted guitar tone played in a relaxed country tone. The song is very light and airy. It has a bluesy tone. As I mentioned before, this is a sad album about love lost. Female vocals are very light and they work very well with the song. They reminded me a little of Linda McCartney from Paul's Ram album, but again, the guitar tone is great on this. The drums are straightforward with a steady beat. You can hear some softer piano parts mixed and they're a little lower, and the song is very catchy. Then Standing in the Light of Love is one of the harder rockers, similar to some of his stuff from the early 90s when he was recording with Pearl Jam. This has a grungy tone, but it still keeps the same tone of the album. I really like the guitar tone with its slight levels of distortion. So if Eddie Vedder were singing this, it could be like a Pearl Jam song. The sound is very good. You hear the bass guitar and they mix in some clean guitars a little lower. The guitar solo is straightforward grunge and classic rock. Then there's Goin Home. I like this song. It's a grunge rocker. It's driven by a steady bass guitar line. This one reminded me a little of Cortez the Killer. He talks about Custer and the Indians in the lyrics. The vocals sound very good. He uses a slight like reverb tone in the vocals, and I really like the sound of it. It has a nice distorted tone. I think this is a very good song. The bass guitar sounds really great in this one, and this is one of the longer songs, close to 8 minutes. So it kind of plays like an extended jam session. Timberline is a great song. It was one of the singles. It's a short song in only 4 minutes. It's just very upbeat and fun. It's a mid-paced rocker with nice steady drum beat. The vocals sound good. They're accompanied by backing vocals. The bass sounds very good. They use an organ in the song, so that adds to the sound quality. And it has a very full sound. This is one of the catchier songs. The distorted guitar tone is still here, as with the rest of the album. I think the organ sound is the thing I like best about the song, and it makes it really work very well. Then Gateway of Love. This is one of the longer, like jammy songs, over 10 minutes. It has some cool guitar riffs. I like the use of reverb in the intro, and they still have that distorted tone. One more of like a mellow song. Has cool guitar solos and funky guitar chords. It has a nice beat to it, but at the same time, it's more of a relaxing song. The vocals are very good. They have Neil singing a lead, accompanied by backup singers. They have a lot of different guitar solos throughout the song with their signature distorted tone. Like I said, this song is like a long jam session, and a large part of this song is instrumental. Then there's How You Doin'. When I first saw the song title, I thought it was like written by Joey Tribbiani, but it's a slow blues song. It starts with some thick distorted chords. That's pretty cool. But it's a very light song with that sad tone, and that appears like throughout the album. It's a slow song. It's very relaxing. They have female backup singers along with Neil. Just a very relaxing song to chill out to. There have been some slower guitar solos on this one, kind of similar to that like Eric Clapton style of playing. They accompany the song with some soft piano playing and some slightly distorted guitar chords in the background. So, very good song. It's called Boom, Boom, Boom. This is a 13-minute epic jam session. This one reminds me of 60s rock. It has that like slow, like psychedelic rock style, jazzy, distorted guitar solo. Reminds me a little of that like stoner metal. It just has that like slow pace, some cool lead guitar melodies. Neil Young sings in a softer tone. I like the drum beat on this one. It's slow and steady. They incorporate some female backing singers and some baritone male voices. They also incorporate some cool slide guitar riffs. This one is kind of a little like progressive rock as well. They incorporate some keyboards in the middle of the song. They kind of like come out of nowhere. I like the use of the a cappella parts towards the middle of the song, and song that towards the end does introduce some jazz elements. They have a saxophone. Very nice, relaxing song to chill out to. Some of the solos towards the end are kind of like psychedelic as well. They bring back a little of that progressive rock sound towards the end. Then the song kind of like stops abruptly, but overall, it's a pretty cool extended jam session. So, in conclusion, I think it's a decent album, maybe a little better than his last album, Barn. Has more of a raw quality to it, and I really like the guitar tone on his albums, and especially the ones with the Crazy Horse albums. And it's not perfect. I did find some enjoyment of it, but my score for this is an 8 out of 10. So if you are a Neil Young fan, I did a ranking video of his first 10 albums from the 60s and 70s, and I will link that over there. And then I also have my review of Barn. I will link that over there. So see you all in the next one.